right, we're back. For anybody who caught the silliness that went on about 10 minutes ago, Lisa and I were struggling getting this live going and embarrassing our kids, but we don't care because you know what? We're empty nesters and our kids are someplace else, so we can embarrass them all we want. We got a wave from Lisa. Hey, Lisa. And she's going to join us. Okay, you should be on it. But I don't see you. What are we doing again? Now, I have done this more than once. There you are.
We
We did
did
it.
it! Yay!
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
How you doing?
oh, listen, stressed out trying to do Instagram because I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm an, Instagram newbie, so sorry.
Anybody else who's a Luddite like us or just of a certain age should know what we found out is Lisa cannot join from her laptop and she needed her phone.
And what's funny about it for everyone that's out there is I specifically tried to download Instagram to my laptop so that I could join the live because I thought, oh, I won't be able to do it on my phone. I didn't even know how to log in on the laptop. I had to reset the password. It has been like 45 minutes of me trying to get ready for this
Oh
on the
no.
laptop, only for it to not work. And I'm back on my phone. So there you go.
We gotta have some fun. Yeah, I tried to initiate it on my laptop a couple times ago, a couple lives ago, and it said I need a special software, and I was like, oh no, we're not doing that.
You should have warned me, man. I was like, oh my goodness, that was horrible. That was horrible. But I'm here.
Yay!
Hello, Kamira.
She's home. Lisa's home. She's going to tell us a little bit about herself. But I just want to say, yay, congrats, because Lisa just officially dropped off her last one. Her house is quiet. Her food is in the refrigerator when she leaves it there and goes back for
That
it.
part. That part. Exactly. Well, I have not had even 24 hours of being an empty nester. So we literally got back in town last night of dropping off the last chicken from the nest. Um, so we are officially, as of this morning when we awakened, empty nesters.
Welcome to the life.
Yes, yes.
It's a vibe. So this is what we do. This is real casual. I know that you're familiar with. I used to do those Tuesdays with Kamira with our experts and stuff. This is just a real casual talk with people. We have a topic, but we may go off topic. We usually start out talking about books a little bit. So I'm going to ask you what you're reading, and then Lisa and I decided we were going to talk about empty nesting, re-envisioning yourself, and fitness, because Lisa is my walking buddy and the fitness struggle is real. It's not like it used to be. Uh-oh, one of us is frozen and I don't know if
Me.
it's me or Lisa.
Is it me?
I don't know.
Am I back?
You're back.
Okay.
So things that people need to know: we are in Atlanta, and whenever there's a big storm, and we are always on the edges of these hurricanes, whether they're on our right or our left or east or our west, and they affect our Wi-Fi and everything else. Like our electricity goes out, everything blinks. It's amazing. One of those things they don't tell you when you're moving here.
And we're landlocked of all things. So, and we can, yes.
Sometimes we don't even get the rain. We just get all those other effects. So if we go out, that's the reason why, and just excuse us. We're sorry ahead of time. Okay, reading. Lately, I've been reading these really, really light mysteries, like really fun and light mysteries. The one I'm on, I'm looking at my notes so I don't forget the name wrong. It's called It's Elementary by Elise Bryant. And I'm telling you, these things are like palate cleansers, especially like after the debate on Tuesday or something. I go back to one of those really light mysteries. I'm like, oh, okay, now my mind is right. I
Yeah.
won't have
That was,
bad dreams.
are we going to talk about that? Are we going to talk about the debate?
We could
Because
talk
we
about
haven't talked.
We have not. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. But first,
That was funny.
Tell people a little bit about yourself, because all I told them is that you're an entrepreneur.
Oh, sure, sure. Okay. So I am, how do I define myself now? This is so weird. So yes, I'm Lisa. I am first friends Kamaya and I are friends. And let's see, I am an entrepreneur. I have two businesses. My first business is a strategic marketing consulting firm. So I do short and interim term projects in the area of strategy and insights for mostly consumer packaged goods companies. Name them, things that you're familiar with, like the Coca-Cola company or AT&T, or, things like that. And I also have an online travel business that I get to run in my spare time. So I love travel. My husband and I love to travel. So it was a natural fitting alignment for me. So those are my two businesses.
Yay. And Lisa is good at what she does. She got me into that travel business and I was really into it. I was getting all the certifications and then the world shut down. And I was mad. And I was like, I don't think I'm going back to this. So I wrote a book.
Yeah, so she wrote a book. Exactly. Yes.
I was like, I tried it, and I was upset. But you have kept it going even through all that. And that's amazing. That is very admirable. I
It is,
really,
and it's so fun. It's mostly I get to travel like an
yeah.
insider. So for example, we just dropped off our son for his internship down at Disney World, and instead of paying full price, I paid half price because I'm a travel agent. So there's nothing to not like about that.
Yeah.
Half
Yeah.
price is always a good price.
Yeah. 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 And you were trying to get me to stay with it just for that.
Yep.
We have, because of my husband's travel schedule, all of these miles and hotel points. So I was never using the travel agent stuff because I was just using points all the time anyway.
Okay. There you go.
So I was like, I'm not even using it. What you reading? You reading anything?
I am. And so by read, I I listen. So yeah. So I listen. What is the name of the Amazon book club that I'm in? I listen to books from Amazon. I can't remember the name of the
Yeah.
download service.
Yeah. 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 The Audible.
Anyway,
The Audible.
Audible. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is the name
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
it? See, this happens. This is another thing that happens when, you get of a certain age. You don't know social media and you also forget words mid-sentence.
Yeah.
So,
But that's only because we have so much in our brains.
well, there you go. I like the way you say that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was listening to NPR, and NPR does their little book review and says like what's hot and what's going on. And I've been listening to a book, and I don't even know the name of it. It's this author. He's out of Ohio, and it's about LeBron. He has this fascination with LeBron James and basketball. Actually, I'm going to look it up real quick.
Is it fiction or nonfiction?
Golly, no, it's fiction. No, it's
Okay.
nonfiction.
It's nonfiction.
Yeah, and it's kind of written like prose. It's an interest in the author is reading it, so it's his perspective and it's his voice.
It's not Kwame Alexander, is it?
I don't see. That's the other thing. I don't know. Let me look up.
He does that
It's
stuff.
yeah. Let me look up what I'm reading right
All
now.
right. That sounds
What
really
are
cool.
you reading right now while I look it up? I might be frozen for a second, but I'm listening.
I'm reading that book. It's Elementary by Elise Bryant. It's a really light read about. It's a mystery. It's a really light one. But also you mentioned Audible, which is very cool because I just started last night the road along the road of doing an audio version of the book Star Spangled Swagger. So hopefully that'll be done before before not.
So wait a minute. Are you the reader then?
No, I will not read it. I
Okay.
will pay actors to read it because the book is, as you know, it's dual perspective, first person. So I'll pay actors to do, yeah.
Oh, that's going
No,
to be great. That's going to be great. Oh, I can't wait for that. Okay, I did look up the book okay, it's called There's Always This Year on Basketball and Ascension. It's by Hanif Abdul Rakib.
okay.
Anyway, it was something that I was listening to on NPR. And
Okay.
so I'm almost finished with the book. It's actually really good. I'm enjoying it.
So
I'm
going to look at that. Lisa and I are both basketball fans. We have gone to NBA games together and stuff. Our lives intersect at very interesting crossroads. Like we started out being neighbors, and then we found that we both belonged to the same family organization, Jack and Jill. Then we found out we both belonged to a women's civic organization, the Links, and then our kids are her oldest and my youngest were the same age and same grade, so they were and similar personalities. They were doing stuff. We were just, and then we became walking buddies. Well, she dragged me along to doing these walks.
Look, she says walk. Kamira's being modest. We are runners who trot.
Yeah.
We are runners who
Yeah.
trot. Yes.
When you see pictures of me in those races, chances are Lisa's taking the picture because she's there too. But it's fun.
Yes.
It's fun. And we've
We
got
have a
other
great time
people.
together.
We really do. We really do. And now we have a whole new phase of our lives to experience together because
I can't wait. I'm so happy to be joining you in this state. Though it's going to be really weird. My husband said last night, he goes, wait a minute. I think I heard the kids upstairs. I was like, oh, no, I didn't.
all right,
Yeah.
well what are you looking forward to since this is brand new for you?
So this is so brand new. I'm gonna have to redefine. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to like redefine kind of what drives me day to day.
Yeah.
Of course, the kids are still there and they're still a part of my life. They're not gone.
Yeah.
Um, but they're not physically here. And so I don't have to, when I'm thinking about, oh, what's going to be for dinner? I don't have to think about, oh, do I have to, Jonathan doesn't like this or Hannah doesn't like that.
Yeah.
I only have to think about me and my husband.
Yes.
Um, and he's so great about, well, my dietary restrictions. My husband is so great about being a good sport and eating whatever I prepared. So while I am vegan, he is not, but he eats whatever I prepare.
Yeah.
And our appetites have shrunken a lot. So we don't eat a whole bunch. And with Jonathan gone, I don't know how much cooking we'll actually be doing.
Yeah.
And if so, we'll cook like one meal. We share, we share a meal.
Yeah.
And he may get an extra animal source for his protein, I guess, if he likes it. But last night we got in off the road late last night. We didn't eat anything on the road, just snacks and water. So when I got in, I made Impossible burgers. And we each had an Impossible burger, and it was lovely. It's nice. So I'm looking forward to dating my husband again. So we'll get to we always are really good about doing something just the two of us. And so we usually do one day a week we call our date night. It's usually Tuesdays and we go see a movie. We love movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll go see a movie. We have a movie membership. Now we'll probably go even more than once a week. We may try new restaurants. Kamira is always so good about telling us about great new restaurants. So we may venture out and do some of that. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to fill my days with. I don't know that I told you this, but well, I can't reach it now. I have a tennis injury and I'm on crutches.
I saw that. I saw that on the HOA page. Ah, I'm so
Yes.
sorry.
So I was looking forward to this. I'm actually on 3 tennis teams. I joined a senior women's team, a regular women's team, and a mixed doubles team. And I'm out for the season after the
Oh,
first match.
oh,
And I was really looking forward to the senior women's. It was my first time playing with older women. We were all similarly situated, and I was really looking forward to it. It was a great group of women. And I played one match, and I'm out.
oh.
Yeah. So
You
that's,
mentioned the cooking for yourselves or not cooking when you don't want to. If you had a big lunch out with your friends, you don't have to make dinner.
yep.
So we know it's really funny, and you'll experience this. Everybody does. I was talking to one of our other neighbors about this last year. Is you start to get, like you said, your appetite has shrunk, and you start thinking about, oh, I want to be around for a long time. So you start adjusting what you're eating. You have a little less of the stuff the fatty stuff that's good for the kids' brains, but not necessarily our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
When mine come home for holidays and stuff, they are so upset because there's nothing to eat. Our college
Oh,
student
yeah.
he was cooking dinner for us because he was real into cooking this summer, and he was so mad. He's like, I have to go to the grocery store. We don't have such. I'm like, yes, we do. We have this version. He's like, no. He's like, there's no milk. I'm like, there's oat
Yes.
milk. He's like, there's no butter. I'm like, there's vegan butter. He's like,
Yes.
there's nothing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I know we're gonna get that. I already know. Let me get ready for it. So,
That's what
yeah, I'm looking forward to.
that's one of
Actually,
the
I'm
best.
looking forward to it. I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to them coming back and seeing all the changes, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was careful to change the house slowly so that they would never feel as if they didn't belong here.
Ah, good
Each
advice.
time, yeah, each time there was something changed. Some of the kitty furniture had to go. Some of the stuff that I didn't have to worry so much about things being messed up because my house was one of the houses where the friends would come over and stuff. So I made sure that they were comfortable, which meant it wasn't fancy. It's not fancy now, but I don't have to be as careful when I think of something to buy. That's the nice thing about empty nesting. But you talked
Hmm.
about like redefining, rediscovering yourself. Um, some people completely change and some people become more of the same. What is it that you think may happen?
I think I will be more of the same. I've always been really good about carving out something that's just for me. As you mentioned, we're both in a couple organizations together. So I always had that.
Mm-hmm.
Our Jack and Jill organization was about the kids. Our Lynx organization is about service and friendship.
Yeah.
So that's something that's for me. And my tennis is for me. Our time together, you and I, when we would do our runs and our walking, that's my girlfriend time. And so I've always been really good, much to my mom's dismay. My mom would always say, you need to spend, do something at home and blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, I've always been really good about carving out things that are just for me. So I'll probably, as evidenced by the three teams, just do more
Yeah.
of what I had already carved out just for me.
Yeah.
You talked about making changes in the home. One of the things that my husband and I are looking forward to is the downsize, of our household.
Mhm.
So we're looking forward to over the next 2 to 3 years actually not being in this space and being in a smaller space. Because we just don't need it. We don't need all the extra bedrooms and we don't need the extra cleaning. I'm quite sure, our daughter has already been away in college for a month and no one's been in her room at all. Not for what, And so now with our son being gone, that's two bedroom doors that won't be open
Uh-huh.
at all. And then there's another bedroom door that's the guest room. It hasn't been opened. So it's like, why do we have these rooms that no one's going into? It's just more to clean
Yeah.
and dust.
Yeah.
Um, so we're actually looking forward to slowly trying to clean out the garage. Like even on the drive home, my husband mentioned on the drive home from Florida yesterday. He said, so all that stuff in the garage we can get rid of, all those bikes, all the electronic equipment, all that stuff can go, right? you know, so we can actually get two cars in the garage.
Ooh, imagine that. It's funny because I do the opposite. I use the whole house
Ah,
because people know I am an introvert and a homebody. So I go to different spaces in the house because it maximizes the time I can spend. I don't get bored just being
ah,
in the house. Now, I will say the college student's bedroom, um, nobody's in there unless we have overflow of overnight guests and we need to use his bedroom. When he first went away to college, his first year, that first semester, I would go in and clean something and clean something and clean something and fix something and make something nicer until there was nothing left to do. And then I just had to admit, you're walking in his room because you miss him.
oh,
It's the world. It's not, oh, you're devastated. He's gone. You just miss him and you're going in there to get a little feel for him. And I still do that. And now he's on his third year, right? He has a bathroom. I use his bathroom because it's up here by my office.
okay.
um, but we have our son who has his own place. He owns his own home, but he comes home regularly. So he still has his bedroom. He's down there. He utilizes it. So that room, there's life in that room, right? Because
Okay.
he's there at least once a week, often more than that.
Oh,
You,
wow. Okay.
yeah, we still do family dinner. We call it family dinner, friends and family. Whether it's cooking at home or going out to a restaurant, it's not a huge commitment. We do that, and he comes to that. So I see him at least once a week.
That's cute. I like that.
So friends, cousins, whoever wants to come. Sometimes it's just that going to a chicken place. Sometimes it's everybody contributes for dinner and we'll all cook. It doesn't really matter. The point is to be together. So we do that every Sunday, and sometimes he'll come by. He's in graduate school, so during the semester is probably once a week. Otherwise, we're in between his office, his school, his teacher, and his home. So he'll stop by.
Oh, that's nice. That's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
I my workout room is upstairs next to the kids' rooms,
Yeah.
and they have their own bathrooms. But if I'm working out and I have to use the bathroom, I always come downstairs to either my bathroom or the powder room. I never go in their bathrooms. But now, since they're gone and I know they're clean, I might be able to not have to come downstairs in the middle of my sets, you know.
There you go. There's a plus. There's a
There's
plus.
a plus.
So I told a few people that we were going to do this, and they were like, "Oh, I'm going to watch it." Most people watch the recording. They're like, because they're what I call empty nest loading, and so they're like, "Well, you're going to give tips," and I think that the biggest tip that I've learned, and I call it boomerang, because every time I turn around, I swear this kid is back here. And like I said, we have the other one. He has his own place, but he's always here. Is take your time shifting. Like, people feel like the moment they drop their kid off, their life has to be completely different. Either they have to be devastated because they no longer have young ones in the house, or your life has to be completely different. It doesn't. Take your time. Figure out what it is you want to do. If you were a stay-at-home parent, that means a big shift. Take your time. You don't have to have some grand plan. Some people go back to school. Some people, I on a lark did that boot camp, that novella writing boot camp, and now I'm on my second book. You just
Look at you.
I
Look
know.
at you. That's so great, Kamira. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So you just never know what's going to happen, right? So I know this is the beginning for you. You have a lot going on. So,
I
so
do.
yeah, you may want to, like, okay, let me see how this is weaving this stuff in for now.
Yeah, I did think about this is something. So when I was a little kid, I wanted to be a commercial airline pilot.
Oh, cool.
I always wanted to. And I just never followed up on it. I actually called a pilot training school a couple weeks ago
Cool.
to inquire if I was too old. And they said, well, they said, well, once you complete the training, you'd have, less than a decade to work
Yeah.
before you'd have to retire. They do forced retirement. So,
Yeah.
you'd be, more than 5 years, less than 10 years of working.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I won't. And I can always do, because what the part of it that's interesting to me is I would love to fly helicopters for like life-saving for like children's hospital. They do those life-saving helicopter lifts. I would
Yeah.
love to do something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And those have forced retirement too,
I
the same
don't
way.
think so.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like,
Yeah.
because that's really what I would love to do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. In any case, you can, at the very minimum, get your pilot license.
Yeah. And I could do
Yeah.
private.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
But I'm going to heed to your advice. Take it slow.
Yeah.
Don't try to do too much too soon. I saw this funny meme on Instagram where this lady was slowly unraveling into her empty nest. And she was just naming off all this stuff. She's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And at the end, she was just like, oh, I miss my kid,
Yeah. It's okay to
So,
miss them too. Like, people, for everybody knows, I was gearing up towards it. I had the whole year before of the emptiness loading. I was getting everybody ready. I understood that it was a temp gig, this hands-on parenting. And that's
I
why I
love
went
it. Tim
forth.
gig.
It was a temp gig, right? And I went full force into it, not because I didn't have anything else to do or it was the only thing I wanted to do. It was a decision that was made, right? But then you get promoted. That's what's happened. Like this, we've been promoted.
I love it. I love the way you say that.
Yeah. So when you're promoted, you have new responsibilities. You don't have to do the details of the other stuff. Some other person does it. You're more you're overseeing things. You're managing,
Mm-hmm.
and as you go further and further up, you're less and less hands on. So promoted, and it's a pretty good gig.
I love it. So I just got promoted.
Yes, you got promoted. All right, we're probably going to get back to that, but I don't want to forget to talk about the struggle, the real struggle of fitness when you've been promoted or you're about the age of people who've been promoted, even if you have never been a parent or hands-on with kids. So Lisa and I, we do walking together, and Lisa is a jock, as you heard. She has a tennis injury. She's a tennis.
Oh, this is funny, Kamira. As I looked up the details of my tennis injury, it said the first thing it said, this injury is very common to middle-aged athletes. I was like, wait a minute.
Well, you have to help me out here because I think it was 2 years ago. I was great. I was doing all the fitness and the diet and stuff, and I got to exactly where I wanted to be. I was in the shape I wanted to be. I didn't want to be anybody's supermodel. I was feeling good. My numbers were good coming
Yep,
from the lab.
that's
Doctor
great.
wanted. I was fitting in clothes that
Perfect.
well, it's not like that anymore.
Well, it's cyclical, you go through, you were writing a book, right? So you were focused on that. So, and I think fitness in partnership is always better.
Yeah.
When you have someone to be on the journey with you, be it your life partner or a friend or a neighbor or something, it's just easier to commit to.
Yeah.
And it's more fun.
Yeah.
I know that fitness will always be a part of my life. It has been there have been times when it has been more at the forefront and more prominent in terms of the time I give it than others. But I know that it has always been there and it will always be. It's so important to me. I love the way I feel. Like you said, actually, unlike you, I've never ever been where I want to be. I'm always in pursuit of not to be anybody's supermodel, but I'm always in pursuit. But more than just the pursuit of where I want to be, I love the way I feel, the endorphins. I just love the emotional well-being I get from participation in sport and fitness and athletics. I love it.
See, it's interesting that I'm one of these weird people. I don't know what percentage of the populations we are, but I don't get the happy endorphins.
Really?
People have always trying to convince me that I do get it and I'm misnomering it or something, but I just don't get it. Some people don't.
Wow.
So I don't have that motivator. Like, I just do it to do it. There's nothing physiological in me that feels better. I don't have a high, or, the only thing is that I'm happy with myself. Like this morning, I was running late. And I have a working group that meets at 9:45. So I had to get to that because I didn't want to deny myself that. And so I was doing, the mantra, all or something. So I did something. So then I felt good about myself for doing something, but there were no endorphins for my 30 minutes of something. And I was hard, there was sweat.
Wow. Wow. Well, you know what? So kudos to you for doing all or something without the endorphins, kudos to you because that's part of I love that feeling.
Yeah.
So that pushes me to do something.
And people, I envy people who have that feeling because I don't have that. So it's easy for me to slip, right? If you're pushing that happy feeling and you can get that feeling from working out and you're like, oh, let me just run and it'll, it feels good. It does not happen. It's never, I ran track in school. Didn't happen then.
And in fact, when I do get the opposite even because when I don't do something, I feel bad. I feel like guilty.
Yeah.
I almost feel like I've let myself down. Like I've not. I do. I get a really sad feeling. Like golly, the whole day. And I also have my watch yelling at me saying, "Hey, your rings are not where they usually are."
Yeah. I'm saying hello to the people who just signed on. How you doing?
Hello. Hello.
See, now, if I go a couple of days without exercising or something, or some kind of body movement, I will feel sluggish, right? But then if I go a good week or so, I get real comfortable in the sluggish.
You're into the new book, right? You're like, this is nice. I have extra time.
So any advice you can give to those of us who need to be motivated, we would love it because I have a friend and we are accountability partners for our fitness and wellness routine, and we text, and she's in New York and I'm here in Atlanta. We text each other, we say things, but we're like, man, the older you get, the narrower your margins, meaning there's less time. It used to be you could take a vacation for a week and you didn't have to exercise. You come back, you get into your routine. We're like, really? Maybe 2 days. If I'm on vacation for a week, I got to figure out how to exercise because
Something. Yeah.
yes, you see that your metabolism is slower. You see the results. You really have to make it something that you do.
Well, I do have advice.
Okay, give me the
Yes, I have advice. So we are all people, high functioning people who have transitioned to a new reality that's a little different from our work lives or our running businesses or running households, etc. Um, and I would say take the same mentality that you used then and apply it to your fitness and schedule it. Put it on a schedule.
yeah.
If it's on a schedule with an appointment, just like you have a doctor's appointment or you have, errands to run, you usually put it on your calendar. I operate by list. Put it on your list.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's on your list, it's more likely to get done than if it's not on your list. So that's my first piece of advice is schedule it. The second piece of advice is find a friend. Find a friend and do something that masks itself as fitness, but it may not necessarily present in the at first pass as fitness. It could be something like going for a walk to a new restaurant on the Beltline,
Yeah.
or checking out a new trail to see nature.
Yeah.
And you're getting fitness in spending time with a friend, and your body will thank you for it. So those are my two pieces of advice.
I like those. Yeah. Or, all the old school ones, park a little further from your destination, have to walk. All those little walks, they add up.
They add up.
I did a long one. I like to walk. I did a long one yesterday. I had a errand in Midtown and I had to drop something off. And it was near Piedmont Park. And as people who know Atlanta know, that we have to cut through the Beltline to get to Midtown. Otherwise, you have to drive all the way around. Since I had to carry something to drop off, I took a ride share there and I walked back. So I went there in my gym.
For you.
I was the only person in the place in gym clothes, and I walked back. And it was about 4.5 miles.
Good for you.
The book. It was not a speed walk or anything. It was just walk back.
That's great. No, that's great. And I think that those little things, they add up. And then the other thing is, this is the advice that I do sometimes is, I am I say treat yourself, do something nice to yourself and for yourself. I love Revolution Donuts. Love. It's a vegan donut place near our home. And I love it. So if I'm going to have that treat, which is not very often, but if I'm going to have it, I walk there. I walk to get the donut, and that's my treat, and I walk back.
Yeah.
So I justify it.
Yeah. That is smart. Well, where I fail in the physical wellness, I prevail in the mental wellness. I have done a really good job since empty nesting with the whole mental wellness and taking care of myself and feeling better about myself and making sure that part of me is whole, taking, whether it's meditation or baths or walks or whatever. What do you do in that area?
I need help.
Yeah.
I need help there. I don't do such a good job. Probably because I don't schedule it.
Yeah.
if it's not on my list. I've never placed a high enough importance level on mental wellness for myself. Yeah. And I need to, and I should. Yeah. So I will raise my hand and say I need help because I don't.
Here's one small thing that somebody taught me a couple years ago that works, especially if you're sitting down to work, but it's good for anybody at the beginning of the day because like we said before, you have a lot on your mind, right? We have lots on our mind. So of course we're going to forget something every so often. There's this approach. You can look it up. You can do it any way you want. There's no dogma on how you have to do it. It's called morning pages. I don't do it first thing in the morning. I do it when I go to sit down at my desk to write. I tend to write in the morning. And it's basically journaling. There's no formula. It's whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. If you want a formula, then fine, you can adhere to a formula. Try not to do more than 3 pages. But basically, it's a brain dump. It seems silly. In the beginning, you'll do more, a lot, because you're not used to just writing all these things down. When you first sit down, you may even think you don't have anything to do and you're too busy, you have stuff to do. You start writing, and I find that I do that. I keep the 3 pages. Lately, I've been only doing 1 page because I've gotten really good at it.
And what are you writing on the pages?
Anything I want. It's anything you want. It's a brain dump. So it can be goals and objectives sometimes, and sometimes it's just, I was thinking about this, or I have to do this, or I can't believe the washing machine broke. It's absolutely anything on your mind.
Okay.
Because you want, and you release that stuff, and your mind does clear, and I am more productive, and it does not take that long, right?
Okay, I'll try it. Yeah.
And
so morning pages,
yeah,
max 3 pages, brain dump. Got it.
it can be anything. It can be a list. I've done lists. If there's a way to journal, I've done it in this process. Just,
so when you say list, like, because when I think list, my mind immediately jumps to, let me write down everything I need to do for the day.
Sometimes it could be, or it could be, sometimes I do categorical lists. I have done anything from what I like about me to, usually at the end of a calendar year, the beginning of a calendar year, we're all doing goal things and we're, and planning and stuff. I'll do that kind of stuff. Sometimes I'll do, maybe I'm in conflict with someone, so I'll write that out. Just whatever is on my mind at the time. Lisa and I have a mutual interest in real estate, and I was planning some stuff along that, so I planned it out in the morning pages because it wasn't really something for me to do during the day, but it was on my mind, so I just planned step by step. And then that was done. I could get back to whatever it is else I had to do, and not whatever was on my to-do list for that day. And
I'll definitely try it. I've never tried journaling. I've never been a journaler.
Yeah.
I've had intentions to.
Yeah.
But as I say, I need help. I don't do a lot for mental health.
Yeah.
I've bought so many journals and things and say, oh, I'm going to do it. Like you said in the beginning of the year, I started like, oh, this year is going to be my year. And then I never do it. But I mean, I'll try this, where I'm just doing a brain dump.
Yeah, anything you want. It's as structured as you want or unstructured as you want. The key is, though, really hold yourself to either 3 pages or a time limit, because you don't want to keep going on. People don't like to journal because they don't like to talk to themselves. My friend told me she doesn't like to talk to herself, so she doesn't journal. And I was like, okay. Also, you can do this. You can do voice journaling. If you don't want to write it down, you can do it. You can talk to do it. People should always remember, use your technology. Even though Lisa and I aren't that good with tech, as we proved earlier.
Yes. Yeah. We were listening to, on our ride home from Florida, we were listening to, we like true crime. And so we were listening to this true crime series. And the characters in this show we were listening to, they do voice memos. They record conversations, and and I'm thinking to myself, like, a couple of times I got distracted from the story. I'm like, how do they do that? How do you record? I have no idea how to do a voice memo. I have no idea how to record a conversation. No clue. But it's like, yeah, I guess I could figure it out.
You can figure out how to do voice phone. That's simple. And then you can also figure out how to do dictation in Microsoft Word. That is simple too. And I believe you have iPhone, right?
I do.
So iPhone has a journal app that comes with it.
Really?
Yeah. You may have to, do the latest update version or whatever. Not a new phone, but just update it. But they have a journal, and I think you can dictate on that.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go. But how do they, I know this is so not what we were talking about, but how are you, when you are talking to someone, you're having a phone conversation with someone, and you record that conversation? How do you do that?
That I've never done.
Okay. Yeah. That's what they were doing in this true crime thing we were listening to. So
that I've never done. I think it's possible, but that I've never done.
Yeah.
Or I've never been really good at meditating and stuff. And a couple helped me. And so I was talking to someone, and I was like, I'm good at praying, but I'm not good at meditating. And she's like, well, praying is talking, and meditating is listening. And I was like,
oh, I gotta write that down.
Right?
What?
Right?
Praying,
wow. Meditating is listening. And then I saw on TV this meditation guru. He has one of the big apps and stuff. And what he said was so freeing to me. He's like, if your mind wanders, that's part of meditating. Do not punish yourself. Because I would be like, I'm no good at this. My mind is one. He's like, no, that's part of it. That's part of the process. Your mind should wander. Just bring it back. And your mind will wander. And those two things freed me. I was like, oh, nothing wrong with me. Like my mind can wander. I'm not supposed to go into this blank state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. No, that is amazing what you said. Praying is talking and meditating is listening. Wow. I never even, yeah, because I don't meditate because my mind wanders.
Yeah.
And I can't get in the zone. I'm already started thinking about my list. I told you I'm a list person.
Yeah.
When it's time to meditate, I'm like, okay, so have I clicked off this, that, and the other? And did I even put this on the list? You know? So, wow.
You're supposed to acknowledge that, like, yeah, that is my list, but my list isn't for now, and then come back. And then you'll go back to, and you're just supposed to come back, and that's part of the process. And that is part of meditating, but it's not talked about.
Wow.
And
thank you for that.
You're welcome. It's part of our conversation, because you said we're getting off topic, but not really. All of this has to do with rediscovering yourself, reinventing yourself. You know, we've been really busy for a couple of decades.
Mm-hmm.
All other people.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah.
And so now is the time to get busy on yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and the things that are important to you,
yeah,
and what you want in your life.
Yeah.
While I said I've always been really good about carving out my time or my thing, I still always have as a priority somebody else's thing.
Yeah.
You know, while I make time for my thing, it's not the priority.
Yeah.
So now I get to, in this new state of being with kids in college, is I get to reprioritize.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's really fun.
You should ask yourself, I had, someone told me to ask myself this, and then put it into practice. She's like, what do you really want? What do you want, you know, in your world, from other people? What is it that you want for yourself? And then I thought about it, and I was like, you know, I want to treat myself as well as I treat my guys, because I treat them really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't help as well as I treat them. I don't give myself the grace I give them. I'm not as patient with myself as
oh my gosh, you're so right. You're so right.
And that took a long time, like, to learn. And it's an ongoing process.